Good morning. We're here at Freshwater Farms. First thing, just before sunrise. And today we're going to talk with Dr. Dave Smith and start telling his story. Farm that's been in business since 1983.
It's always fun for me to hear the screams of glee when the kids come and they start to feed the trout in this tank. I mean, it's just 100%. The kids just love it. They're getting splashed. It's just exciting for the trout feeding frenzy. And I never get tired of it either.
Tell us about these fish a little bit, how you've managed to kind of get them to the point where they're a little better for farm growing versus catching them out of the stream, so to speak.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of big differences because the trout we're using, trout have been farmed, or at least in hatcheries, federal and state, for 100 years. I mean, it was one of the very first fish they started stocking for public recreation. But so there's been some trout egg hatcheries in the country that have been doing this a very long time, and they have different strains for what you want. If you want to stock them in the wild, you want an aggressive fighter, you want something that's really going to be fun. But when you're in a fish farm and you're trying to grow a whole group together, you want them to get along with their friends and neighbors, and so we get more docile strains that don't attack each other, that get along in groups, and are used to a farm environment. They're waiting for their next meal. And they know that trout and salmon and things, those types of fish, are very capable of jumping distances. And these fish here can jump 5 or 6 feet out here if they wanted to.
Wow.
Luckily, it doesn't happen very often. So they're usually just ready to sit there and wait for their next meal.
You'd lose your stock.
We have seen when we have brown trout, they are jumpers all the time, but they don't, even those don't tend to jump out, but they're out there jumping a couple feet in the air and just excited. When you have good water quality and all that, it's important to keep them happy and healthy. One of our stocking pond strategies is to really make a balanced ecosystem so that it's more sustainable. And so we have all the major niches in a pond filled for maximum production. And really, it's all about food. So establishing a food base is a critical thing. And we now use a species of minnow called the Fathead minnow. It's not a very flattering name, but that's what they're called. They're called a Fathead minnow. Never gets bigger than a couple of inches. And they're raised on farms where it's just that species of minnow. And we sell them by the gallon or by the pound. This is typically what we would sell. And so there's just thousands of minnows in a gallon. And this becomes the food base for all the other fish in the pond. Fathead minnow is another indicator species that's used as an indicator for environmental quality. These either in the lab and sometimes in the field. So they are the two white rats of environmental science when it comes to testing toxicities and again, what is the true environmental condition of a river or stream using fathead minnows and trout. There's a reason that environmental scientists like to use indicator species, whether that's freshwater mussel or whatever, because it's never the same stream from day to day. But if you have indicator species, they're a good indicator of long-term high quality or long-term conditions in that stream or lake. So that's why we look at the biota that is in the lake. So that's why we often use even other insects like dragonflies and other species to ascertain how good or bad environmental conditions are in aquatic environments.
Cool. Okay.
When you have 500,000 fathead minnows in here, now they only live a year or two anyway. There's always a few dead ones. So in the morning, we want to make sure we pick out the few that have kicked off so that they don't impact the health of the rest of them. And so I'll just scoop up the few that are here. But we waste not, want not, in the circle of life. Our ducks here at Freshwater Farms love our minnows. So they become a treat for the ducks. And the call to rally the ducks that they're going to get fed. So they're trained to the word flutter, flutter. They love those minnows. And we do raise them, and we sell the eggs that they produce for us this time of year on the farm.
Really?
There's one out there. There's two out there right now.
Ah, there we go.
We get about half a dozen eggs a day.
How many eggs a day?
Oh, we get about half a dozen eggs a day. We have repurposed this space here for we have a lot of protection for them from all the predators like mink and hawks, and so we've had to cover it. Again, they are well protected here. Actually had a rescue alligator brought to the farm by the local deputies that found him in a pond, and at that time we had the reptile permits, so that was all you need for an alligator. And so we had him here for a while, and he got bigger, and the new dangerous wild animal laws came into effect in Ohio. We had to build a better and secure facility for that gator, which was fine, and that's what we built out here. This was our alligator spa. I have a 14-foot jacuzzi for that purpose, and secondary fences and all that. So it was nice to have Fluffy, but he succumbed to a cold spring in April a few years back when it got down to 17 degrees, and we lost Fluffy. But normally in the wintertime he was kept inside and was just dormant in the wintertime, and then was outside the rest of the year. We hope to get that again. Really working toward having rescue alligators here on the farm again, because that was a lot of fun, and they love our trout, so it's a kind of a win-win. So if we are pursuing certification with the the Zoological Association of America, and I've already become professionally certified as part of that program. So I was very fortunate that Jack Hanna wrote me a recommendation, so I've got that certification along with our track record here at Freshwater Farms. When we get our facility certified, then we will be able to have rescue alligators again and other aquatic animals that we would love to be part of our educational experience here at the farm. That may include things like river otters and things that are just a lot of fun to have, and also feed on things like our trout.
So what's your name?
Cheyenne.
And what do you do at Freshwater Farms?
I work in the retail store. We at Freshwater Farms, thank you for watching. Let us know what you think. And subscribe and follow.